Barack Obama's legacy is not going the way that he planned. And we know this is something that he cares a lot about. And you'll see that now with this new article about Barack Obama. Just as critical as people are being against, Joe Biden after Kamala lost in 2024, all of these books that are being, published about Joe Biden and what they knew, what they didn't know, and all this, and we know they all knew. There are also articles that are being written about Barack Obama and how his time is up. And there's a recent article that was written about Barack Obama where it says Obama loses his shine. Is it true? Could it be possible that a Barack Obama era, that Clinton-esque era of the Democratic Party, or just in general, has lost its steam? Let's go into this clip here first from Morning Joe. Shout out to Case Study QB for this. Obama world loses its shine in a changing, hurting Democratic Party. Let's get into it.
Following President Trump's victory last year, some Democrats are beginning to openly criticize former President Barack Obama's strategists and consultants, who, of course, have played a huge role in the direction of the party in recent years. The so-called Obama coalition, made up of less politically engaged voters, younger voters, and voters of color, largely shifted toward Trump in 2024. As NBC News notes, Obama himself remains a force in the party, filling stadiums and commanding the attention of major donors. But even the former president's luster was showing signs of fading last fall.
So the fading started to fall last fall. And we'll get into some of the things that he said that has pushed things in this direction. But the reality is the rest of the people woke up. And I'll give you an example. Barack Obama still thinks it's 2008. I feel like he thinks this when he gives speeches, when he does interviews. And what he doesn't realize is that everybody else kind of woke up. In particular, Black voters have also really woken up, right? You can see that when you look at the numbers. You can see that Kamala Harris lost the Black vote. Her numbers for Black voters is lower than Biden and Hillary Clinton. You can see that with the numbers. And of course, all of them are lower than Barack Obama's numbers with Black voters. And I think, especially what Morning Joe is not going to discuss, but I can discuss it here. The reality is that a lot of Black people had hope when Barack Obama won in 2008. And we really did think that things were going to change and things were going to improve. One term, we see, nope, he's just like the rest of them, right? Then there's a couple other things that Barack Obama did. I don't know, like bombing brown people abroad in Libya. All those drone strikes, killing all those damn kids. See, that didn't go over well then, but if that was happening today, that really, really wouldn't go well. It is a totally different time now. So the 2008 Barack Obama, that doesn't work anymore. People have woken up. Then there's the incidents where Barack Obama went to Flint, Michigan and pretended to drink the dirty water in front of the people, a room full of Black people. Because you see, what Black people saw is that, oh my gosh, we have someone that's president that looks like us, but he's not trying to help us do anything. And in fact, his policies, his economic policies actually are hurting the Black community. Think about all the Black people that lost their wealth under Barack Obama's presidency because he bailed out Wall Street instead of the homeowners. All the elderly Black homeowners that lost their homes to the predatory housing crisis in 2008. Barack Obama chose to help Wall Street instead of those people. So those predatory lending companies that targeted predominantly Black homeowners, Barack Obama basically sided with them. So you see, a lot of Black people woke up. And no, you may not see more Black people. You maybe didn't see more Black people vote third party, which I hope people would, or vote independent. But what you did see in 2024 is more Black people just check out. More Black people stayed home. Because you can't sit up there and dance in our face and play us like that. And you see, this is why someone like Kamala Harris and any other black candidate that comes after Obama is going to have a problem, because we already been played. We got played by Barack Obama twice because he won twice. So people woke up and saw the game, and they know the game. And that's part of the reason why this style of politics that Barack Obama has and Barack Obama himself just does not work the way that it used to.
When the 2028 presidential election arrives, it'll be 20 years since Obama's first victory. At that point, more voters will have come of age in the era of Donald Trump than in the era of Obama. And Jonathan, it's a great point. Like, first of all, there is this idea. I know there's been some resentment in the Democratic Party that Obama himself kind of only shows up at the end. He's the closer in these elections. But I think his team will push back and say, well, that's what, because he's sort of scarce, that's what makes his appearances so meaningful. So let's set that aside. But it's more about, I think some of the people who work for him have come under a lot of fire lately. But it's also, in this case, it's more about the coalition of voters he put together, which at the time, some Democrats thought, well, this could be the new permanent Democratic Party. That has clearly not been the case. It feels like those voters very quickly got taken for granted.
Well, I look back on the Obama years, and he won in 2008, but then they lost the majorities in the House and then in the Senate. It seems like when the midterms came, the Obama luster wasn't enough to push that coalition out, to bring people to the polls, to give him the majorities he needed, particularly in the second term, to be able to govern. And then when
why did that happen, Jonathan? Why did that happen? What happened in 08? What happened in those years, right? So why would people come out and support those midterm candidates when the president, who's the Democrat at this point in time, decided to turn his back on the people and bail out Wall Street? Well, why would they come out and support and help you? These are things to think about. We also need the Rahm Emanuel factor, which we'll show you as well. Rahm Emanuel, who was a part of that Obama administration, don't forget what else happened under Rahm Emanuel. This is someone who was basically the architect of NAFTA. He was a part of that. He supported and backed the Iraq War. This is all Rahm Emanuel, right? So when I say that a lot of these policies that were under Barack Obama's presidency, when I talk about how it hurt the Black community, this is the important part. This is why I continue to say you can't just focus on class. On this show, we focus on class and race, because there was things that happened to the Black community under Barack Obama's presidency that did not happen to white Americans. We lost our wealth under Barack Obama's presidency. So there was a Black face that was there in the White House to convince you, to make you think that there's someone who looks like us who's going to fight for us. But he wasn't. He was there to fight for Wall Street.
When he left the White House, he and the then First Lady, Michelle Obama, were very clear to the American people and to their supporters. We have been here 8 years. We have done everything we can. It is now on you. The number one job is citizen. And I think that's why one of the primary reasons why I think President Obama has been scarce is that everyone's looking for him to save the day. And what they keep saying is, no, it's not about us, it's about you. Right. And it seems like the party can't seem to come to grips with that and deal with that. But then when you come to the staff, one of the things folks have to remember is that the Obama team were the first Democrats to be in power who weren't Clintons. And so remember, folks used to complain after the Clinton years, oh my God, the Clinton folks are running all these things and can't we get new blood? The Obama people come in, they're the new blood, and now people are starting to complain, oh my God, the Obama people, they're running everything. Some of the criticism, I think, is valid. There is sometimes you get a sense that they think
these are all the same people. Okay, they may be separate families, but they're all one. They move as a cohesive unit. The Clintons and the Obamas, these are all the same people. How you think Barack Obama got in there? There's an agreement here. I win in 2008. Okay, Hillary, your turn is next. This is why Hillary Clinton still gets so upset that she lost in 2016, because it was basically pretty much promised to her. Do you get what I'm saying? It was like it was supposed to be her turn next. That's why they cheated Bernie Sanders, because it was supposed to be her turn. These are all the same people. And they all hang out together. Saul mentioned the Bush as well. All these people are friends. You can Google it yourself. You'll see the pictures. George W. Bush, Hillary, Bill, Michelle, Barack Obama. All of these people are friends. They're all the same group. You have elected the same person since Bill Clinton. The same part. These are the same people, same agenda. Help Wall Street, help the military industrial complex, screw the people. All the same people. So when he says that, well, they're different. No, they're not different. And that's part of the reason of how you get here. When Biden won in 2020, that was supposed to be let's rescue the people, help the people, because we were just going through the pandemic and economically people lost jobs. People needed help. And so when Biden won, people were like, okay, this is going to be the answer. Wasn't the answer. Then under the Biden-Kamala administration, you get a war with Russia and Ukraine. You get a damn genocide. They didn't even want to increase the minimum wage. All of a sudden, they're scared of the parliamentarian. The Republican Party has no problem pushing back against the parliamentarian. So then people are like, wait a minute. You were supposed to be different. But they're not. They're both corporate. Both parties are corporate. These are the same people. And by the way, when you look at the whole Trump situation, all these people were friends with Donald Trump. A lot of the people who point fingers at him now, you can't say that about me, because I was never pro-Trump, was never friend to Trump. But a lot of these rappers, musicians, celebrities, all these people used to hang out with Donald Trump. Chuck Schumer hating Donald Trump is an act. They're buddies. They're old New York guys. They grew up together in the 70s in New York. These people all moved together. You don't get there just by being a great candidate or you have a powerful speech. You get there because you know the right people and you've made agreements and you've nodded your head to the right entities so that you can get into the White House. It's all a game. Barack Obama ran on hope and change. Yes, we can. Didn't do any of that. Didn't do any of that. And I don't want to care about when he didn't have the majority. I'm talking about when he did have a majority. Didn't do any of that. The whole situation that you have with Roe v. Wade right now wouldn't have been an issue if Barack Obama would have kept his promise that he ran on to codify Roe v. Wade. The moment that he won, he decided to pull back on it and said, nope, I'm not going to do that. These people are not your friends.
They know everything. They run the world. And in some cases, you can understand it because, well, they did win 2 presidential elections. But at a certain point, that class of folks has to start listening to the next generation coming up because they have ideas. They have ways of reaching out to the voters, to men, to the Obama coalition that they just don't have. They don't have the feel for it because they're not from that generation.
And to your point, I think there are many in the party that do want to see just fresh blood, new faces, right, run the party for 2028 and beyond.
Yeah. So, and I think, there's a lot of criticism that is coming Barack Obama's way. And I think another one you need to see, because this is a nasty one. This is all connected too. Look who they're trying to prop up now, right? So check out this clip here. Weak woke top Obama official rips the party brand. Rahm Emanuel.
Former U.S. ambassador to Japan, Rahm Emanuel, is weighing in on the Democratic Party, calling its brand toxic, weak, and woke. Emanuel told the Wall Street Journal Democrats need to pivot back to the center if they want to win elections once again, and that the party has put too much focus on so-called culture war issues that are favored by progressives. Emanuel served in both the Biden and Obama administrations and was the mayor of Chicago. Now, he appears to be considering a presidential bid or a possible run for Illinois governor.
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys something right now. I will do everything that I can to educate my people about Rahm Emanuel to make sure that my people do not vote for him. I encourage you to do the same. I will do everything that I can. This is the same guy who covered up the murder of Laquan McDonald. They covered that up. Rahm Emanuel did in Chicago. 17-year-old boy killed by the cops. He covered it up. This is the same guy who closed 40 schools in Chicago, supported the Iraq War, is a freaking Zionist, and now he wants to run. The point is, he comes from Obama. He is a part of the Obama administration. He was also part of the NAFTA situation. He like, oh, let's do NAFTA. He was the architect of the NAFTA. This is what they want you to support. And then people get mad at me and they say, oh, Sabby's telling people not to vote for the Democrats. Oh, she must be right wing. No, I'm just tired of my people not getting any goddamn thing and just settling for what the Democrats want because they're not the Republicans. The one time I did believe in '08, I believed. Look what happened. We got Donald Trump because of Barack Obama. That's how you get a Trump. Because of Barack Obama's economic policies. Bernie ran in 2016 and 2020. I believed. And then I watched him cave over the Democrat establishment, even though he knew damn way they cheated him to his face, and he wouldn't even be man enough to admit that shit in public. So yeah, I got a problem. And I'm not one that's just going to sit up here and tell my people, oh yes, you guys should just go ahead and support them anyway because they're not the Republican Party. No. What I am here to do is I'm here to tell Black people to leave the Democratic Party and register as an independent. I'm here to tell you that no party is owed your vote, period. Let's go on.
Meanwhile, the Democratic Party is still searching for a path forward more than 6 months after President Trump swept the battleground states and won the 2024 election. A new piece from the New York Times analyzes the gradual split between the party and its traditional base, noting, quote, communities that Democrats had come to count on for a generation or more, young people, Black voters, Latinos, all veered toward the right in 2024, some of them sharply. But as the paper points out, even the attempts from the party to address these issues seems out of touch. Quote, Democratic donors and strategists have been gathering at luxury hotels to discuss how to win Black working class voters, commissioning new projects that can read like anthropological studies of people from faraway places.
This is very sad. This is very sad. The Democratic Party was taken over by Goldman Sachs, bankers, other bankers, Wall Street, military. It was just totally taken over because they think it's a good idea to meet at luxury hotels to figure out, hey, how do we reach working class people? This was the party that at one point was the party of the working class. And this is crazy to me. How do you meet worker? You go talk to working class. They don't even want to go talk to working class people. They want to go to a luxury hotel and sit around a table and talk about you and how to get you. But they don't even want to go talk to working class people. You see, Barack Obama and this party, they made a decision years ago that I think super PACs was a bad idea. The moment they allowed super PACs to come in, lobby interest groups to come in, it was done. We're going to do a deep dive, maybe Sunday, into how Black people became trapped inside the Democratic Party, because I don't think everyone knows the history about that, about how we became a part of it and how we basically became what was done to make sure that we would stay there. Because there's supremacy on both sides, by the way, despite what people may tell you. There's white supremacy on the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. They just keep us around because they need our votes. It's not like they actually plan to do anything for us. And yet you have some Black commentators that will tell you that I'm crazy to tell you what I just told you, because they also benefit from keeping you in the same party as well. This party, along with Barack Obama, they have moved in a direction that's really not for Black people or working class people. They ain't really looking for you. That party has become the party of academic elites, Wall Street, professional class, college educated people. That's what the party is now. If the party wasn't that, why do you have to go to a hotel and meet with people and figure out how to reach working class people? And if you've ever lived in a poor neighborhood, when's the last time a politician came to your neighborhood, knocked on your door and said, can you vote for me? They don't care because they're not trying to get your vote. And I say that to say this. We saw a big part of this downfall when Barack Obama made this statement right before Election Day. And I don't think Barack Obama was expecting to get the type of backlash that he received when he gave this statement. But this was a big turning of the tide. This speech, this demand from Barack Obama that he gave to people, basically blaming Black men for not coming out to support Kamala the way that they did for him. And I think this was when Barack Obama got his wake-up call. After he gave this speech, when people let him know, we don't give a damn what you have to say. You're not our father, and stop telling us what to do. Now, that is a different response from what was said to him in 2008. Remember this?
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind. Yes. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
And that was the moment, I think, that just set things off. And, you know, a number of people heard this and they were like, whoa, hold up. Because the message that was sent across from this is that it's Black men's fault that Kamala Harris isn't doing as well in the polls as she should. But it was Barack Obama who didn't want her to run in the first damn place. Okay. So it's like, you didn't even want her to run. You wanted to have a primary, which there should have been a primary, but you didn't even want her to be the nominee in the first damn place. But here you are standing in the room and you point your finger at somebody else. This didn't go well for Barack Obama. I think this was when he got his wake-up call. We'll go on just a little bit more.
So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences, who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to.
Yeah, he rambled on here, and I guess he really tried. But the point is, the biggest mistake that he made was obviously to point his fingers at black men, but then to also say that someone who grew up like you, she didn't grow up like us. She didn't. There was that as well. And it was almost as if he was basically saying that because she has the same complexion as you, you know you should be voting for her. It's interesting because I remember some people made that decision about you, Barack Obama. When you ran in 2008, some people made that decision that they were going to vote for you because you had the same complexion, and you turned out to be a complete joke. So people live and they learn, and we learned from our experience with you. But it's actually happening, folks. Now the media, corporate media, just like they're turning on Biden, are starting to turn on Barack Obama. Wait for it. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.